Really glad to see all you here. As you all probably know, this is the finals of Battlecode 2019 Crusade. I believe this is either the 20th year or close to the 20th year that we've run the Battlecode competition. It's, over the years, it's had a huge role at MIT and abroad, and we're really excited to bring you this year's iterations, the conclusion. So tonight, we're going to start off with a little bit about the game, introducing it to people who haven't been playing it all season. Then we're going to move on to our octafinals. We're going to have a word from our gold sponsor, D.E. Shaw. Go on to quarterfinals, announce some of our more fun bonus awards. And semifinals, we're going to stream the finals of our high school and newbie tournaments, which is newbie is first-time MIT competitors. And then finally, what you've all been waiting for, we'll do the grand finale and find out who actually won this year's Battlecode competition. So what is Battlecode? Well, it's a number of things. It's a programming competition, first and foremost, that occurs over IAP, so in January at MIT. It's been called the Super Bowl for software engineers, for better or for worse. Yeah, it's this incredible experience where teams of students come together to build a bot that basically plays around in a virtual video game. So this year's game is called Battlecode Crusade. The object of the game is to defend your team's castles and pillage the enemy castle. There are a bunch of unit types. There are obviously castles, churches, which can be constructed, pilgrims, which are non-combat units that mine resources, crusaders, prophets, and preachers, which are all combat units. And then there are various types of resources that teams have to mine and then conserve in order to power their units or build units. So fun fact about this year's Battlecode. Over 600 teams and 1,400 individuals registered to compete. We had a record-breaking 130-plus MIT registrations and a record number of teams submitting bots to any of our tournaments throughout the season. 62% of our competitors wrote their bots in JavaScript, followed by about 19% in Python and 18% in Java. 0.2% of competitors wrote their bots in Rust or C++. So you'll be hearing from all of our finalists tonight. But just to quickly introduce you, we have 16 teams, which will play in a double elimination bracket to our final two winners. We have Standard Technology, NPCGW, Wololo, Useless Spot, Please Ignore, Big Red Battlecode, Smite, DOS, Justice of the War, Citrix Sky, Freedom Dive, Chicken, Team Barcode, Knights of Camelot, Unlimited, Just the Key, Code Olympians, and without any further ado, let's start.
Move it a little bit to the right.
Oh, wrong one. All right, so could Standard Technology and Unlimited please take the stage? All right, so the way this is going to go is we're going to ask the competitors, we're just the backup commentators. We're going to ask the competitors to explain what's going on as much as possible, because we don't really know what their bots are thinking, and they might. So without further ado, let's start the first game with Standard Technology as red and Unlimited as blue. And I guess Standard Technology, do you want to start with a brief overview of your strategy? There's also a screen up here, so you're...
Okay, so we try to go for the middle resource clusters first. As you saw, we sent one Crusader, but it looks like we went to the middle one, but they got the upper one, which has more resource spots.
Yeah, we also put a lot of effort into going for the middle. We have in the past had a fund that allocates to the top two mid deposits. It looks like it didn't quite execute flawlessly here, but we did pick up a pretty big deposit in the top, which is good.
Yeah, so it looks somewhat even. Yeah, actually very even on unit health, but we have more units. I guess that's because they have some preachers which have more unit health, and it looks like the preachers are trying to run in some.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have built preachers and we send them to the enemy to drain their fuel. Hopefully that's working.
Yeah, it looks like it actually worked pretty well. It seems like we kind of ran out of fuel, although we have some preachers left, because we build preachers if we see preachers as the closest unit sometimes if they're kind of close. So it still looks like it's very close on unit health. This is interesting.
You guys are definitely up on
Yeah, but yeah, we're up on carbonite and we're down some on fuel. Yeah, it's at around 9-10. We should start building a lot of Crusaders for health, and hopefully that should help. Yeah.
Oh, very nice. Okay, so standard technology takes this one on the first tiebreaker, which is unit health. So,
The last tiebreaker.
or well, the second tiebreaker, or the
Yeah.
first tiebreaker. Yeah, the first thing that makes you win is number of castles. But since neither of them destroyed another castle, unit health down here is what was the first tiebreak. So we'll go to the next game. So now standard technology is going to be blue and unlimited is red. This is a much smaller map.
Yeah. So this one there aren't really any center deposits, so it'll just come down to probably who has more unit health. Oh, actually,
Ooh.
we did try to send a
Unlimited.
Oh wait, sorry, we're blue. I guess. Yeah, so I was gonna say I don't think we should send a Crusader that far, but yeah, it looks like we barely got that spot before their Crusader came. Oh, we also got their spot. I didn't notice. So
Yeah, do you want to?
hopefully, if we hold, our church is kind of low on health. If we can hold that spot, hopefully, then we should be okay.
Do you want to talk about that early rush that we saw? Unlimited. You can take the mic out too, by the way.
Yeah, so we sent out the Crusader at the very beginning, thinking that in theory, early on in the first 10 turns, we're going to be, there's not going to be too much defense going on. It looks like waiting slightly and having just a Crusader sent out later on when we might not be expecting it, won out in this case.
Yeah, so we also send a Crusader sometimes, but we only do it if the opponent could get there with the Crusader before we could get there if we just send a Pilgrim. So that's why we didn't send a Crusader to our best spot. And yeah, we just build a bunch of Crusaders at the end for unit health. So.
All right. So standard technology takes this one as well, and we'll advance to the next round.
So as a note, we're running a double elimination bracket here. So this means that Unlimited is moving down to the losers bracket, so they are not yet out, but they just need to not lose anymore.
Yes. If you lose twice, you're out. All right. So Team Barcode and Big Red Battlecode, could you please come take the stage? Oh, Big Red Battlecode is video calling in, right?
Hey.
Yes. All right. All right. Hello, Big Red Battlecode. Welcome from. All right. Sounds good. Let's start. All right. So there's. All right. Can you, Team Barcode, do you want to talk about all the movement going on over here? It looks like you've taken the middle partially.
Yeah, sure. So first thing I do is take the tiles right next to my castles on the left, and then I send archers into the middle deposits, and I just stay there. So, like, I have as many tiles as my opponent does. We have the ones on each side, but none in the middle. And then I just build this gigantic wall of archers, so they can't walk onto my side and steal my resources anymore. Hopefully I'll win on unit health. So like, resources right now, no one's really able to build more units than the other, but I have more unit health. So this should be an easy dub.
I love this wall.
And
Big Red Battlecode, do you also try to build a wall, or is that an incidental wall because you're running into... Okay, yeah, so Team Barcode won this one. We'll go to the next one. Yeah, Big Red Battlecode, do you also form a wall, or was that just because...
So we're trying to push our archers towards their castle, but because they built a wall, then it's that going. You want to push our archers towards their castle, but because they built a wall, then
Alright.
you want to turn up your volume? I can't hear what they're saying.
Alright, I'm a big fan of this wall. And how do you choose where to put the wall?
Ooh.
Oh, whoa! Whoa! They broke through. Wow. Alright.
I got the castle, okay.
Yeah, so this is
It's
the.
the tie break.
All right, yeah, so it's best of 3. So now we have a
Yeah,
tie break.
Split out, yeah.
Well, this is an interesting map. Okay.
All right, so here we've got a 3-castle map.
Oh, and Team Barcode, it looks like you're going for an initial rush now?
So with my first archers, I send 1 per castle to each group of resources, hopefully to stop their workers from building there.
Oh man,
And then
our castle
maybe
over
to
there, so.
steal.
Oh.
And then right now it looks like BRB is doing a really strong push at the bottom.
Oh man,
That's gonna get a cast.
Wow. That was some good swarm movement by Big Red Battlecode.
Oh yeah, looks like we won.
Do they know that they already killed the castle? I can't tell.
Yeah, what happened was in the top, there's 2 impassable tiles, so the archers can't move forward. They have to move backwards, and the pathing must have gotten chipped up on that.
Oh yeah, they got trapped. All right, well, congrats, Big Red Battlecode. You are advancing to the next round of winners. All right, and now Justice of the War and Citrix Sky. Could you come forward, please? That's not me, right?
No.
Okay. All right.
All right, we got.
Who's calling in now?
It's Eugene, Justice of the War. Can you hear us?
Hello, yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you see me?
Yeah.
We can't see you.
Oh, okay. I'm not sure why that is, but
Oh,
Well, I guess
apparently I have a poor connection. Okay, there we go.
Oh, nice.
oh, nice.
Okay. All right. So we have Citrix Sky as blue and Justice of the War as red. Citrix Sky, I guess, do you want to tell us what's going on at first here?
Yeah, so we our strategy is we spam prophets, and then after round 700 we spam crusaders.
So would you say that your strategy is to turtle?
Yeah, basically. We use a lot of emergent behavior because our bots are kind of dumb.
What do you have to say about that, Justice of the War? Is your bot also kind of dumb, quote? Can he hear us, Kelvin?
Oh, they can hear us, yeah.
Now I can. Now I can.
Oh, okay, so they can only hear me.
Can you ask Justice of the War what their strategy is?
Oh, yes, what is your strategy?
Am I red or blue?
All right, so Justice of the War, Justice of the War just lost this match because the Citrix Sky Turtle, it just built up enough units that got close enough to their castle that it was able to take it out. So now Justice of the War is blue and Citrix Sky is red.
All right.
So let's see.
So my bot strategy is all in the start. It tries to expand really quickly, and if the opponent can keep it in check, then it's game over. But if they can't, then we probably win. Anything can happen. Let's see.
I see you built a lot of preachers, which totally destroyed a large clump of the enemy team. Did you spend a lot of time working on that? They seem to swarm together well.
Yeah, so if it realizes that it doesn't have half the resources, it does try to attack at the cost of weakening everything else. But it looks like it worked a little bit here.
Yeah.
Ooh. That castle is.
Oh, wow. There's so many units.
One castle.
All the castles are still there, but it looks.
Wait.
The last.
This is the last one. Okay, wait. So it's castle. It's castle health
40.
No, it's just
No, okay.
it's just unit health.
Okay, so wow,
So
this was
Justice
very,
of the War
very close.
takes it just barely at the end of that.
Yeah, wow, that is a very small
Last
difference.
moment Crusader
All right.
spam.
All right, so we'll go to the third game, and Justice of the War is red again. We'll see. There aren't a lot of resource deposits in the middle this time, which is something that both teams excelled at in different games, which is interesting.
Yeah, so in this one, my bot will probably not attack ever. So if it might just come to a who can build a denser lattice.
Yeah, I noticed that Justice of the War, your lattice is more dense than Citrix Skies. What made you choose to use that pattern?
It is dense, but there's a bug in my Crusader lattice at the end, so that's
Yeah, we went for sparse lattice because territory control for us is important. So we have more space for Crusaders at the end.
That is quite the territory
Yeah, you can
control.
kind of see that Crusaders are dense lattice.
Whoa.
So-
Oh yeah,
All
this
right.
is it. All right.
So Citrix
So
Sky.
yeah, Citrix Sky takes the third game and advances to the next round of the winners. Congratulations.
Congrats.
All right, so now we have NPCGW and Wolo.
Thank you.
On a somewhat interesting map with all this sort of large blockage in the middle and resources in the center.
Yeah. So I believe you're both international teams. You want to just, I don't know, say where you're from? And
Yeah, hi guys, we're Wololo from Germany, Hanover in Germany.
So I'm from NPCGW from Australia. The rest of my team, Albert and Angus, are still in Perth and Adelaide because they couldn't make it here, but I'm sure they're watching from home, so yep. Oh, really? Awesome.
oh, they're going to video call in too?
Yes, they're video calling.
Is that them?
Hi.
Yeah, can you introduce yourself?
All right, cool.
Okay, awesome.
Let's get started then. All right, so NPCGW is red and Wolo is blue.
Yeah, so we're going for the middle here because it's the most important expansion with a lot of resources. And now we'll try to hold the middle and build churches there. And we've also just taken over the bottom. So now we're controlling all resources that are not protected.
Yeah, so
Oh,
And now we just pushed in one.
yeah. All right. Oh, this is a much larger map.
Oh,
So
that is a big map.
At the end there, was that an intentional crunch? Or did you just encroach on the territory because the turtle got
Once one of our units spots an enemy castle, it can command all units to attack that castle and charge it.
Oh, nice. All right.
So we start the game by sending prophets out to like the resource clusters to try to stake our claim to territory.
Yeah, we are mirroring all of our expansions. That means that if we build an expansion on a defensive tile, then the expansion will build a pilgrim that also expands to the mirror, but we've already won again, I guess.
Yeah.
So,
All right, well, Wolo continues on to
thank
the
you. Was
winners.
a great game.
All right.
All right, so now we have DOS and Knights of Camelot. All right. All right, who do we have calling in for this one? Oh. All right,
Hello,
welcome
DOS.
DOS. All right, and welcome Knights of Camelot. Let's get started. Now, Knights of Camelot, do you want to start talking about what your initial strategy is?
At the beginning, we built a couple crusaders to take us to the resource.
How did that just happen?
That looked like a rush. That's a creature rush right there. Go back.
Sorry, wait, we
Go
got
back
it.
with the
Hold on,
sliders,
hold on.
sliders.
I wasn't even paying attention. What just happened?
We just got a
wow.
full-on rush of
DOS
creatures.
effective creature rush right there. Wow, made quick work of that castle. All right.
Sorry, guys.
All right.
Yeah, we died to rushes really easily.
Wait, where did DOS go? All right.
Shall we see the next? Okay, we're on the next game. Wonderful.
Wait, what is this? Autoplay, yeah. All right, well, I guess, do you want to keep talking about your strategy?
Looks like we're trying to take the middle. We were able to do that because we sent some Crusaders to claim the resources there first. They're trying to rush us right now. Right now we have a bug in our code, which is that we don't really build that many units. So
It looks like the profits that you have, though, are still a big enough wall that the preachers coming one at a time are not able to do much damage.
we still build units if we're getting attacked, so it looks like it's working out for us.
Oh, good. Yeah, DOS, it looks like, is sending a steady stream of preachers just to die against this wall of profits, unfortunately.
That is what it looks like.
All right, well, let's speed it up a little bit and see. The Knights of Camelot effectively taking over the map here.
Hopefully we'll see our church lightning here.
Oh, yes. I've been looking forward to it. All right, we should slow it down, maybe. All right, let's see.
Nope,
Looks like
doesn't
no church lightning.
No church lightning this
Not this time.
All right.
All right.
I guess Knights of Camelot, you will advance to the next round of
Wait,
winners.
no, wait. That was they each won one.
Oh, right, because the rush.
Yeah, the rush last time.
I take it back. You might advance. All right.
All right,
Let's
single
see.
castle.
I have a hypothesis. So okay. All right. Do you have any anti-rush code?
We build units if we're getting rushed, so hopefully that works. We took out their church there, so now we have all the resources.
It's interesting that you haven't built any military units right here. Oh,
we might die here.
Defense, successful defense, very good.
Our panic build saved us. They're rushing us again. And it looks like hopefully we survive our future rushes.
This pattern seems very deliberate. What did you decide with that?
We actually copied another team. Basically, the pattern allows us to put our units as close as possible. But
the church lighting. All right, we're going back.
We gotta
go back.
Just a little.
All right, so
Set the speed down. Yeah.
okay, yeah. So could you explain what church lightning means?
So basically, we take advantage of the turn queue by building a pilgrim or a church, and then every new unit is added to the end of the turn queue. So in one round, we can actually build a bunch of pilgrims and churches, and are able to get to the other team's castle and build one attacker and destroy their castle.
Yes, let's watch that bottom pilgrim.
It looks like it's about to start here, maybe.
Oh.
Wow.
Looks like we didn't take out the castle just yet.
And there it goes.
Wow. And that is the church lightning.
All
Very
right.
nice.
Knights of Camelot, we'll move on.
All right. All right, so next we have Chicken and Code Olympians.
With your shirts, very
I
good.
believe Chicken is, where's Chicken calling in from? Okay.
Where's Kingston? What is that?
Hello?
All right.
Can you see us?
Hello.
No.
Almost.
Yeah, time's up.
Give me a sec. Oh yeah, I can see you.
Okay, it's good.
Ooh, promising.
All
Very
right.
good.
Great.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so Chicken is red, Code Olympians is blue. Let's get started. Code Olympians, do you want to talk about what your initial strategy is?
Our initial strategy did not work, actually. We were supposed to send an initial profit to the top. Wait, I feel like red is our. Okay, never mind. Red strategy looks a lot like what we're doing, but our code didn't quite work.
Ooh, 10 health holding on.
Chicken, was that an intentional rush or what happened there?
So it's sort of buggy, but it's the Crusaders trying to gain control again.
Oh, I see. So you just happened to be at the resources, and the Crusaders saw that they were near an enemy and went after it?
Yeah, they know that they have to take out the people at the resources, so they try and rush as quickly as possible, because that's how we gain control early.
Oh, I see.
We're over.
Yeah, now that Crusader should be able to kill all the pilgrims that try to come and take it.
Oh wait, but I think it's over for us. Unless, oh wait, Chicken might have a bug. They're not building anything.
Oh, Chicken has
Did you guys block
themselves
yourself in?
possibly.
Oh, looks like we have a bug where we're not doing anything. And that would be the map getting us right.
Is this the whole game?
Yeah.
Wait, are we gonna win by 700 unit health?
And I think that's going to be a win by unit value for them.
Okay.
A very intense game.
Well, all right.
All right.
Both teams
are
both teams
1-1.
trapped themselves in.
So Olympians, were your pilgrims spotting that Crusader and intentionally
Oh, okay.
not
So
going
our pilgrims try to go for resources, but like they spot an enemy, they just stop and wait until the enemy leaves. And we're supposed to send a support unit, but our units got stuck.
All right. Well, I guess it comes down to the tiebreak.
Okay, good luck. So I think on this map, we might have a slight better chance because we usually don't get middle resources really well. So, and we also have a church laser that should come up eventually if we have 800 carbonite and 10,000 fuel. So we gotta wait.
Well, there's the 800 carbonite.
Yeah, there's 800 carbonite. How much fuel? 10,000?
So, oh, and also if we have too much carbonite, our church laser goes really haywire because we built too many churches. Because our criteria for stopping our church laser is when we have like 200 carbonite left. So we're gonna keep spamming churches. Okay, just wait.
All right.
Please happen.
There's the church.
Oh, it worked. That was so fast. I barely even saw it.
Right at that 10,000.
Wow, yeah, and it totally took out. Wow, very nice. All right, Olympians, congratulations. All right.
All right, so Code Olympians will move on.
Here we go.
All right, now we have Smite against Freedom Dive. Is Freedom Dive is just not here?
All right,
oh, the Limerick. Yes.
Hello.
Who has my phone? Okay, thanks. We have, okay, so Freedom Dive cannot be here, so they sent us a limerick to read for them, which I will now do, I guess. and then we'll start. And this is the only thing they get to say, I guess.
Where is it? There it is.
Okay. Our castles, the source of bought birth, they search nearby riches to unearth, and broadcast target chords for pilgrims to go towards, and make raiders when turn is forth. Resource tiles have quotas of miners, whose BFS paths act assigners. No churches for us, our fuel might go bust, for carbonite we take to be finer. On colored mines pilgrims do gather, those goods in this game which most matter. Empty tanks forward they stomp, otherwise backwards they romp, transfer great stores on a platter. Combatants find targets symmetrically, track path to axis, flip geometrically, attack if they can, or march forth again, reroute if stuck in place eternally. When opposing castle has been demolished, any further production is abolished, attack when in danger or drift like a ranger, track new castle if ever acknowledged. We wrote things that might come in handy, our single modus operandi. Way too lazy to fix, Freedom dives in a mix, but it turned out just quite nice and dandy. So that's Freedom Dive.
All right.
All right, so let's get started, and I guess, could you explain your strategy equally eloquently, please?
Sure.
Preferably in Limerick, yes.
Cool. So we just sent a Crusader to the bottom right cluster, which should hopefully allow us to take it over, and yes, indeed we do. So the goal now is just to build up a lattice that's strong enough to withstand any kind of onslaught, and hopefully we will be able to win off. Actually, we might even kill the castle in this scenario because we're pretty close to them.
How did you choose your mix of units here? I like that there's some of everything.
Yeah, so we realized that prophets are really good to mix into your lattice because they have the longest range and they can kill stuff as they approach the lattice, but all prophets is not necessary because you can mix in preachers to get a much better unit health value, and we put crusaders in the back to do some fun stuff in certain scenarios.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
What is this fun stuff in these certain scenarios?
So if our church or castle gets plinked, basically that means that the front part of our turtle's been taken down, and in theory, all the crusaders behind, which have been accumulating over the course of the game, should just like push forward in one giant clump. So it's basically a slingshot that just grows the entire time.
Cool. Oh, very cool. I hope we see that.
So yeah, again here, we are attempting to take the 2 clusters on the right and trying to get some defense up, and it looks like at this point we have a few prophets, which is enough to one-shot the crusaders that are coming in.
Yeah, it looks like red is just feeding you units one at a time.
We do not use the reclaim feature, but I guess that maybe could have come in helpful here.
We also do not offer trade to the enemy.
Yeah. This year's Battlecode game has a peaceful component which nobody used, which is that you can offer trades with your opponent, like trade resources. So like, fuel for carbonite or something like that. Some people used it for signaling, but never peace.
Yep, and in the end, we just built some churches with extra resources to maximize our unit health.
Oh yeah, the churches at the end. Very nice. Yep. All right, well, Smite moves on in the winner's bracket, and Freedom Dive goes down to the loser's bracket. All right, so now we have Useless Bot, Please Ignore, and Guess the Key.
This is going to be the last match of the first the octafinals.
Am I saying it wrong? G is the key. Oh, G is the key. Oh. Why is G the key?
Oh, just is my old username, so I just add it on.
All right, do you want to talk about your strategy? G is the key.
Yeah, so I send out pilgrims first just to get the resources, and then I only build units when I need them. So.
Oh, so if you see an attacking unit, then you'll build a bunch, but otherwise you don't?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
And then
we send like 2 rangers to attack the enemy resources, so they can later we can claim it, and after that we are going to just block the enemy to expand their position.
Yeah, I see you've totally taken over the resource clump in the middle, the only resource clump in the middle.
Where they are pushing.
What's going on with your churches over there? G is the key.
So when the pilgrims get threatened, instead of running away, they actually build more. They build a church and then they build loads of units. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's prevented Useless Bot, Please Ignore from taking the lower resources here.
Yeah.
What is this pattern over here in the middle?
Yeah, they are just trying to go in front of the opposite position of the castle where they are built.
Oh, so you're building up a line towards the enemy castle?
Yeah.
I see. Very nice. Okay.
And some units just circle the other position.
Oh, so yeah, over on the side there, they're starting to circle the castle. So do you have a crunch coming up?
No.
Yo, you just contain them?
Yeah.
I see. Well, it looks like, Useless Bot has 1 on unit health. So we'll go to the next game. The contain was effective. All right, let's see. So this one...
We've got no additional resource clusters to grab other than the ones where there are castles. So this will be even resources unless someone loses a castle.
Why do you choose not to build units until you're threatened?
I guess because I went for more of an aggressive sort of...
Whoa.
We just took out a castle.
Yeah, that castle up top there. So you were saying aggressive?
Yeah, so I didn't want to just sit around. I wanted to actually attack.
How do you decide when to go in like that? It seems like you just tried again, but were repelled?
I missed it, but... Basically...
Oh,
so... yeah. So after an attack,
if we win, then we go towards the nearest known castle, the enemy
Oh, I
castle.
see. Okay, to make use of your swarm.
Yeah, and unless if we see another enemy, and then we'll fight them.
Okay, makes sense. All right, so this is the tiebreaker. Let's get started.
Very resource-rich map.
Yeah, this is a large.
Lots to claim.
Yeah, it looks like G's the key. You really aggressively went for those middle patches. That's going to be a big advantage, I think. Oh yeah,
And there's
that was a good push. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, and it took out the only castle.
yes.
Very nice. G is the key. You continue in the winner's bracket.
We will continue in the losers bracket. We will continue.
Oh. All right. So and now we have a quick word from our top sponsor, D.E. Shaw.
Hello, everyone. I am Catherine. I'm with D.E. Shaw. I'm here with my colleagues Nathan and Patricia. First, congratulations to all of the finalists and to the devs. This is my 7th Battlecode, and this is always so much fun. So D.E. Shaw is a global investment and technology firm headquartered in New York. It really is a special place. Throughout my 7 years with the firm, I've really thought, wow, this is a special place, and the people at the firm really love what they do. So instead of traditional remarks, I'm gonna do something a little bit different and share a video in which 6 relatively recent hires, including Nathan, talk about their experiences at the firm. One thing I'll note is we refer to Desco. That's how employees affectionately refer to D.E. Shaw & Co. So I hope that all of you learned a little bit about us from watching that. And Nathan, Patricia, and I will be hanging out outside for a little bit after the competition. So feel free to stop by to chat and learn some more, or just to grab some swag. So good luck to everyone still involved in the competition, and hope you all have a good night.
All right. Thank you, D. Shaw. Let's now continue on to the
quarterfinals now, right?
I don't. There are 8 teams in the winners bracket, and they're gonna play now. I don't know what it's called. Could Standard Technology and Big Red Battlecode please take the stage and/or video call? Oh yeah, you're right. Thanks. All right. Big Red Battlecode.
So,
yeah. All right, Standard Technology. I believe you were the team that some other people may have copied the dense lattice from. Do you want to talk about that some?
we just did that because we thought that it could be vulnerable to attacks, kind of like Big Red Battlecodes. The dense lattice would be more vulnerable than the sparse lattice because they can kind of like slowly pick off your units one by one. But it turns out our final bot also sometimes doesn't do too well against Big Red Battlecode because they do a really good job of setting up a wall, and then our units, as they go out to go into the lattice, will run in and get shot. So we'll see if it works for them this match.
What's the word from Big Red Battlecode?
We're going to try.
All right. Cornell's really far away, so the internet takes a while to go from here to there. Yeah, no, it's in the middle of nowhere. When I go to Cornell, I have to take a bus, and it takes 11 hours. So I can't imagine what the internet's doing. There's only one airport there. There are like 2 flights a day. You can drive, but it takes 6 hours. All right, I think we're just going to start. All right, let's go.
Okay, so there's a big resource spot that's contested in the middle, so we're going to send a Crusader to try to claim it. And it seems that we did an okay job, so we're just going to build up a lattice to protect it.
Yeah, you can see they kept trying to attack it, but we purposely tried to build a lot of units to defend it when we saw the enemy. You can see they're trying to kind of contain us, but fortunately for us, looks like so far we've been we've been kind of rebuffing them, I guess. But that's probably just because we have more resources in them, because in the past they've often been very effective against us.
Yeah, it looks like they have really, really great swarming where like the units will all of a sudden.
Yeah, they have really good coordination where all of them kind of stand outside our lattice and then advance at once. But hopefully we should be able to hold off because we have more resources.
Oh, yep, and that is what
looks
happens.
like- yep.
All right. Game 2.
Yeah, so
Very small map.
this one does not look great for us because we don't really attack, and they'll probably just form a wall and come take us. Maybe if we get both resource clusters, it could be okay, but I'm not sure that will happen.
Let's see. Looks like, yeah, Big Red Battlecode developed their resource cluster a little bit earlier than you, but you were able to repel them. Why is it that you build preachers only around that church and not around your main castle?
So when we see that the unit is like close to us, then we'll often build a preacher. And looks like we actually got the other resource spot, although hopefully they can't take down our castle. But yeah, basically, like if we see that the closest unit to us is a preacher, crusader, or that they're within a certain distance away, we'll build a preacher because they have shorter range and do more damage.
Yeah, it looks like Big Red Battlecode is just going to feed you units for the rest of the game.
Yeah, we slowly replenish that unit that's being killed as they send it and trade it with ours, but we have a larger economy right now, so we should be able to...
And they're the Crusaders.
You can also see we send the Crusaders.
Decisive
on top of
unit.
that.
All right, the next one is loading.
Looks like it's getting
but
slower.
It might be getting slower. All right. So now we have Citric Sky and Wololo. All right, so this map is a great example of a map where if you go straight for the enemy castle, you will get trapped in this divot right here. So do you guys want to talk about what you did for pathfinding? I guess Citric Sky?
We used Dijkstra's and BFS. Yeah, we do that basically. We use that extensively a lot. But the reason why we don't time out is because we always stop when we find whatever we need to find. You know, we're obviously going to lose to this team because we lost to them in the qualifier unofficially, and we never updated our bot after the qualifiers. So, yeah, not surprised.
All right, Wololo, what about you? Pathfinding?
Yeah, pathfinding-wise, we're using BFS for full mapping, and for direct navigation, we use A-star.
Very nice. Can you talk more about the swarming that we've been seeing, where like large chunks of prophets will just go and attack?
You mean on our side? Yeah, that's kind of our units just seeing that there's an attacker within a structure's range, and then we kind of defend very aggressively, which can also be dangerous. But I guess it turned out well for... No, it didn't. We lost.
No, it did.
Oh, no, Citric Sky won on
Yes.
units.
Yes.
On units, because they got the middle. Yeah, all right, so game 2.
Yeah, my prediction is that we're going to lose by
Or
gas.
Wololo won.
Wololo won because the
Now
thing
it's-
got
now it's
switched
Citric
first.
Sky.
Wait,
Okay.
so what?
You took over the middle and had more units.
We were blue.
No, you weren't.
No, that was completely weird because I,
think-
thought we were.
I
But then,
think what happened was it was loading the next game, so it already had switched the banners of which team was which.
so who won?
I think you guys.
Yeah, because I thought the game was going really well for us,
Yeah,
but then
I
suddenly
think
it said
you
we
guys-
lost. So.
Yeah.
I think you guys won.
So this was the
Okay.
last one, and you were blue.
Yeah, exactly. We were
Yeah.
blue, but then suddenly we were
Yeah.
red, and I was
Well,
like, whoa.
Yeah.
This
it-
doesn't seem right.
my-
Okay.
My computer gets sad after running a lot of replays.
It's having
so
some
it was
trouble.
like the top bar loaded first, and then it's all right. We might restart Clairvoyance. By the way, this is Clairvoyance. It's really nice. I'm gonna restart it right now. What index am I at? All right, so we're gonna restart Clairvoyance, and that's gonna look like me doing.
Yeah, I can just say something quick what we changed from the qualifiers to fill up the time. Because in qualifying,
Thank you.
yeah, we did a lot of attacks into like fully built lattices from like turn 500 on. So that actually got us kicked out of winner bracket, unfortunately. So we removed that. So now we're just really defensive going on from turn 500. Yeah, we've all been spoiled a bit, I guess, because the church chaining is actually really effective against lattices. Yeah, but in the late game, we're just going to see defensive games on our side now.
All right. So now I'm going to turn off this too, because so this is a really cool feature of clairvoyance, but I'm turning it off so it's faster.
All.
Yes. All right. So now, all right. This is actually game 2, and it's actually loaded. And
Yeah, so this map seems really defensive, which is usually not good for us because it comes down to building like a better lattice, I guess. And our lattice isn't that well optimized. We haven't put that much work into it, but I guess we're just gonna have to see.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, lots of latticing.
Wow, this is.
Yeah, so I think we're actually interweaving more preachers into our lattice, which is also why we have a higher overall unit health right now.
Don't worry, we got Crusaders.
That's not true.
That is not true.
No, and we just lost the overall
Yeah, the
unit health.
Crusaders
Okay.
at the end. Crusaders are very cheap, but have a decent amount of health, so that's why a lot of teams have been building them at the end. All right, so third game, tie break.
Yikes.
What made you say yikes?
Well, there's middle resources, and.
But you
yeah,
got them.
That's what happens.
You got them.
Oh, wait. Wait, right. Wow, very surprising. What? Yeah,
Yeah, so I
yes.
think this game is lost.
Yeah, it looks like that's quite the large amoeba taking over the map here.
The castle
yeah,
too.
that middle castle just disappeared. Whoa, what the? Let's just go back. I have to see that.
Oh, yeah, we don't rebuild churches, so that might be a problem.
Can we just, okay, what happened there? Okay, let's see. Was that a church lightning?
No, I think they just ran out of fuel and we attacked.
Oh, so yes, it takes fuel to move, and Citric Sky, it looks like, had no fuel and was just unable to shoot back, which is how all those units just got destroyed right there really quickly.
Yeah, but it's way too far into the game to change it, so yeah.
Yeah, looks like Citric Sky still takes this one.
Wow.
Good game, guys.
All right, so yeah,
All right,
Knights of
Knights of
Camelot
Camelot.
and Code Olympians. All right. Wait, what? Who's calling it? One more team. Oh,
okay, cool.
All right. Welcome.
Hi, Tom. Hey.
Okay. So, Knights of Camelot, red. Code Olympians, blue. Let's see it. Oh, early resource rush.
Our thing didn't work. This
So
is
it looks
not
like
good.
we got the middle resources, thankfully.
If we're lucky, if we have the 800 carbonite and 10,000 fuel.
wow.
Oh, okay.
That was a big rush. Yeah, the lightning.
So our strat somehow worked. I don't know why we got that much carbonite and fuel, but I think that might be due to the fact we didn't take the middle. And usually we don't stack carbonite and fuel if you don't have any churches, and we didn't build much.
How do you decide when to attack like that?
So usually churches built near the middle are set on the status set as like defend themselves.
Also, congrats. Next.
So like the churches in the middle will build 12 prophets near it to defend itself. But since we had none, we didn't build any prophets, so we accidentally stacked carbonite.
Oh, very nice. All right. This looks like a pretty even start this time.
So we just hope that we don't get rushed.
We might do the church laser again. Because our fuel's climbing up pretty quickly. If you have 10,000 fuel, 800 carbonite, it will happen.
Code Olympians, what was that? Oh, wow.
There it is.
Oh,
Wow.
wait,
That was like
we
a
ran out of
really-
fuel? That's not.
Oh.
We didn't quite destroy the castle. That's not good.
It took out one of the castles though, so that
Uh,
could
No,
that
no,
could be
we
no,
damaged the castle,
there's
unfortunately.
only one castle. They dropped the health,
you're right.
but they didn't take it out. So the tiebreaker is still going to be unit health, which it looks like Knights of Camelot is winning on.
Oh, yeah. and all
Unfortunate.
those- oh, man.
Close.
Those Crusaders at the end. All right, very nice, Knights of Camelot.
So this does go to an interesting question. So in Battlecode Crusade, there's these two resources, right, which have sort of different purposes. That Carbonite's
might be
used for
okay.
building things, and fuel is more so used for powering them.
It's good for
I
a
think
rush.
this does lead to the question of how do you guys balance your usage of Carbonite and fuel?
We try to maintain a ratio of 100 fuel per attacker.
100 fuel per Carbonite?
100 fuel per attacker.
Oh, per
attacker.
Makes sense.
And then Carbonite is just whatever.
You just spend it as it comes in?
Yeah.
If we get lucky again, the same thing will happen with the first game, but I doubt it.
Looks like our castle on top is very exposed, so that's sort of scary.
But we don't have enough carbon to initiate a rush.
Yeah, Knights of Camelot, what are you going to do with all those units down there?
Nothing.
All right.
This is very unfortunate for us. Yeah, not enough fuel.
You're really
not
going to do
enough
nothing? There's so many.
They don't need to.
Oh,
they are going to do
what?
something with it.
You said they were going to do nothing.
There's
All
our
right,
church
well, I guess
lightning.
that was a church lightning right out there. Yeah, I'm not going to go back in the interest of time, but that was fast. All right.
All right.
Congrats, Knights of Camelot.
All right, we have Smite versus G is the key.
Have you figured out why G is the key yet?
No, I don't think any of us know.
It's a mystery.
Yeah, maybe it's intentional.
All right, small map. Smite versus G is the key. Let's see how it goes.
All right. Hopefully we don't get church lasered.
That was a very aggressive first
Right.
Crusader down there.
They do still manage to get both up. They have an offensive church on our side, which is concerning.
That was a lightning.
That was the church lightning.
Very nice. It didn't really get anywhere, but it took out that resource clump.
They don't seem to be claiming it, but if another church lightning could do us in here.
Yeah, I really like the offensive churches. They can just build units close to the enemy.
It seems like neither side feels comfortable building up enough Carbonite right now for that with sort of these minor skirmishing going on and using Carbonite.
I have Church Lightning, but I only use it on like lattices. I don't actually use it on the castles. So.
Well, it looks like despite your army of pilgrims here, Smite has taken the victory for this one. So let's see what happens in game 2.
Okay, that was close, yeah. We focused a lot on our defense, and so therefore we're like pretty worried about the lightning, but I think in that case we managed to hold.
Ooh, yeah, Smite, your first Crusader that time didn't pin down the resources on their side, but it looks like you've capitalized your side a little bit better.
It's so deep into the other side, it's hard to pin down. We did see some
the
church
thing
lightning
with our
there.
first Crusaders is we basically don't care about our own clusters and just assume our pilgrims can get there. So we only care about the enemies. And then we figure even if we never build anything on it, at least it stops them from doing stuff for like 50 turns.
Oh yeah, that worked in that other game.
So one of the other things we do is as soon as our cluster is damaged, we switch to dense lattice. So you can see that front is basically not able to be church lightninged well. So the whole idea is if you mark a cluster as contested, which means it's starting to take damage, we want to like solidify it and basically prevent these lightnings.
Oh, makes sense.
We also mix in a lot of preachers. I mentioned this before, was for unit health, but it's also to counter the church lightnings because they do the most damage and they can help against buildings.
Well, very nice. That strategy will get you into the next round of the winners bracket. All right, Team Barcode and Unlimited.
Are we in the... We're in the losers bracket now.
Oh, yes. So this is, so now we're back down to the losers bracket. Again, you have to lose twice to be out.
But now it's for real.
So one of these two teams could come back and win it all if they don't lose again. But now it's like the real deal. If you lose here, you're out of the tournament, and like you still win prizes and stuff. But this is where you get 13th through 16th place. All right, so let's begin. Ooh.
We've got some early rating going on.
So when you recognize that there aren't any resources in the middle, oh, right, Team Barcode, you built the wall, I forgot.
You've just got different styles of walls.
How did you come across, or like, how did you decide to pursue this wall strategy?
Well, everyone was just having their archers sit, and then whenever units come by and attack, the archers that are not moving will have better value in battles. So with all these units sitting here, there's no way you're gonna walk into it and then get better unit value out of it.
That's true.
And the resources are really limited. Like there's a finite amount on each side and an equal amount on each side. So
makes sense.
If I'm getting better unit value, then I'll win at round 1,000.
I guess a wall is the densest of lattices. All right, so this is game 2. Unlimited took the first game on unit health. But this is another resource limited map.
Yes.
We've got another wall.
So by turn 300, we build a church that sends preachers to the enemy to try to drain their fuel. And we should be popping up right there. Yes, it just sends preachers, yeah.
It looks like it's not working because all these prophets have such long range that they can kill the preacher before it even gets there.
Well, I think the point is just to drain the fuel, because it costs more fuel to kill a preacher using prophets than it does to make it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a cool strategy. I didn't realize that was a thing.
Yeah, but the thing is, carbonite is what limits
Yeah.
a team's
Yeah.
ability to build units. So
It only works on some maps where there's low fuel and higher carbonite. So this map is obviously not good.
Wow. Well, the wall wins this one, so we're going to game 3.
I was actually down unit health at the very start, but with the preachers coming in, then the other team lost unit health and carbonite from that, and then I ended up having more at round 1,000.
Oh, your wall seems farther forward than usual this time. It's like exactly in the middle.
And that's because there are resources in the middle, so hopefully it would hit the resource tiles on the enemy side of the map to stop their mining. But for some reason, I'm not expanding, and then looks like I'll lose this.
Well, it looks like red isn't expanding to that rich resource area either.
Yeah, but the carb is balanced, and then unit health is for them.
Yeah. So they're definitely winning on health.
Oh, wait.
Oh?
What? Is it really tied?
Oh yeah, this one does come down to a coin toss.
They have exactly,
Yeah.
they both have 2,270 unit health.
To get knocked out by coin toss.
Which we didn't think would ever happen. Unlimited won the coin toss. Wow. We didn't. Wow.
That's so sad.
Wow. I didn't think that would ever happen, honestly.
It's so rough.
Wow. Feels bad.
Yeah, it does feel bad.
All right. Justice of the War
Hello.
and NPCGW. Okay.
Hello, guys.
Hello. All right. Well, let's just get
I didn't want to
started.
meet you guys so soon in the losers bracket. I'm Australian as well.
We're all fellow Australians, so we all know each other.
Oh, only one Australian team will make
Yeah.
it through. Sad.
Okay, so there's no resources in the center of this map, so we should have a better control of our own resource clusters. It seems that it's those resources in the center where we tend to have a chance of falling down. That looks like an attempt at a church stab, but I'm not quite sure exactly what happened there.
It seems like you have a lot of pilgrims there in the middle, and there are no resources. Are they just
So
provision, or?
we create. So after round 150, we start creating pilgrims that are ready to expand into enemy territory. So as soon as the pilgrims detect that it's safe to advance, they will try to colonize the resources on the enemy side.
It looks like it's not going to be safe. There are a lot of red units. And oh, they're filling up very quickly. Oh yeah, and
Yep.
red takes it on unit health by a lot actually. all those Crusaders. Wow. All right. Oh, this is a much more open map. Hopefully we
Yep.
see some lightning. When
In
you
these
say-
kinds of maps, my bot just builds units and sits tight if it has equal resources.
When you said it'll do the church stab when it's safe, what means how do you decide when it's safe?
So the pilgrim will do a church stab if it's not safe to colonize a resource place, but until it has the resources to do that, it will simply sit outside the range
But a
of
castle
the
is
enemy
lost.
units that are there.
Yeah, it looks like
NPCGW lost a castle to
Yeah.
the sort of expanding wall of profits.
yes, the ever-expanding turtle just eats what's in its way. Yeah, and it looks like Justice of the War is able to really capitalize on that other resource deposit where the castle was. And, I mean, I think that's going to be it. Let's see if it ends on a unit health or... yeah, and that's it.
On
Yeah.
the
All right.
castle.
Very nice,
All right.
Justice of the War.
Wait.
Oh, did I just skip 2 games? Is that okay?
Wait.
That's it, right?
I don't know. I think so.
Yeah. All right, so congrats NPCGW on 13 through 16. All right, DOS and Chicken. Oh, and these are both video calling in.
Oh, nice.
Oh, they're already here.
Excellent.
There we go.
All right.
Hello.
Well, let's get started then.
Hello, everybody.
Just 2 castles real close to each other in the middle.
Yeah. Oh, the early expansion out by Chicken. Chicken, do you want to talk about how you decide which resource clusters to go for, or if you go for all of them, or what?
It looks like all of them.
It tends to always be those near the center. Oh,
Yep, and there it is. That's the encroaching turtle took out that castle. All right, let's see game 2. Dose says that the optimal strategy is to build a lot of units and destroy the other team and/or win on unit health. And he's done a lot of research and he's found that is usually what wins the game. Yeah, it looks like Chicken is going for the turtle and DOS is trying to send groups of preachers in. But the turtle came and attacked.
But
that was cool.
Down to 30 health too on the
Yeah,
castle.
that was very
but
close.
Almost enough.
It's interesting that it was only the Crusaders too, not even the Prophets. Because
yeah, we tend to attack if we see a critical mass of Crusaders in the hopes of burning out their fuel. However, since it's a small map, DOS seems to have plenty of fuel to survive it.
when do you decide when to attack? Is just like if you have enough Crusaders in a small area?
It comes at specific rounds, so 300, 500, 700, 900, if we have the fuel.
Well, it looks like you had the fuel, and round 900 was the round that did it. So, congrats, Chicken.
Down to rush right there.
And congrats, DOS lost the first game, right?
I think so.
It was Chicken. Yeah,
Yeah.
and congrats, DOS, for your 13 through 16 finish. We also haven't been saying the prizes. So all finalists get cash prizes in addition to the,
Joy
invaluable experience of coming to MIT and or video calling into MIT and being here live or virtually for the final tournament. So 13 through 16 place teams each get a prize of $1,000. All right, so now we have Freedom Dive and Useless Bot, Please Ignore.
didn't get it.
What was that?
We didn't get the middle resources.
Yeah, Freedom Dive seems to be sending in just like a random mix of units,
One at a
just one at a time.
They are rushing.
Yeah, they're just running past those resources in the middle. But I guess they don't mind.
I'm curious if that's a chain of pilgrims that is being used to transport resources back rather than building a church.
I think that's exactly what it is. So you can only give resources to units which are adjacent, and it looks like there's a chain of pilgrims from the resource to the castle, so that they can just hand it to each other and then put it in the castle. So despite that innovative econ strategy, it looks like useless bot, please ignore one on unit health. So let's see what the next game holds.
Game 2.
It turns out letting all of your units die is not a good way to maximize unit health.
That's true.
I mean, probably. This is just my opinion. But, okay. So I saw an initial pilgrim go out there and die. Was that just like scouting out the enemy castle situation? Yeah. All right, it looks like we've got a similar game to last time. Do you have an intentional lattice structure? It looks like they get more dense as they get closer to the enemy. Is that
Yeah, exactly. They are trying to circle the enemy castle.
Oh, cool, cool. Oh, yeah, and it's working too. You took one out in the bottom left there, and
that's the
and that's the game.
Yeah.
All right, well,
Great.
congrats, useless bot, please ignore.
Yes.
And congrats, Freedom Dive. Thank you for your limerick. You've also won 13 through 16. So now we're in the second round of the losers bracket.
Yeah.
So half of these are the teams that lost in winners round of 8, and half of these are the teams that just won in the losers bracket to stay alive. So you have to win twice as many games from the losers bracket once you're down there. All right. So G is the key in Unlimited.
We've got this interesting map where the only path out or to that castle is through those narrow choke points at the top and sides.
Yeah, I think G is the key. We haven't heard about your pathfinding strategies yet, have we?
I just use A-star.
A-star also, very nice.
So now that we have the middle resources, we're gonna turn 300. We're gonna build preacher churches and send as many preachers as possible to the enemy.
Looks like
Hopefully it drains there.
Yeah, it looks like that preacher church right there did it super effectively. Very nice.
Yeah.
All right, Unlimited takes the first game. While the next map loads, I would like to thank one of our devs, Ben, who made the map generator. It's very cool. All of these were made by a program that he made, so the devs didn't have to stay up late making maps. All right, game 2. Lots of resources in the middle here. What do you guys think about that?
We don't do that well on large resource maps because our expansion is not. We just send Crusaders to the top 2 enemy resources and just expand for our own.
This is a good map for me.
Yeah, it looks like you successfully repelled their initial push to your resources and then took over the rest of the middle.
Wow.
Oh, mob of preachers right there. Very nice. Got him one of the castles. It's not enough yet for the second, but keeps getting close. There are a lot of units all over the map here.
And
yeah, G is the key. Has gotten every single resource cluster except the ones right near that enemy castle. Oh, and there it goes.
There it goes.
All right.
This brings us to the tiebreaker.
So yeah, this is the tie-breaking game. Medium map, lots of resources.
Oh, the Crusader is effectively chasing down all those pilgrims. That was kind of cool.
Way to claim those resources, but
and then lose them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, it's
yeah. It looks like G is the key.
Yeah. How do you take over enemy resource clubs like that? G is the key.
Which I missed it, but if they're in the
oh wow, that was fast.
basically, well, if the pilgrim
is in danger, then it builds a church. And then
And then that builds
and then,
a church.
yeah.
Very nice. All right, well, congratulations. You continue. Congratulations, Unlimited.
You get money.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, yes. Code Olympians and Justice of the War.
We're probably gonna miss.
All right, wait, this is the Code Olympians person, right?
No.
Oh, there.
Oh, there's, okay.
Hello.
Welcome
Hello.
back. All right, let's get started. We got a single castle map.
Oh, our strat actually worked. If you missed it, what we usually do is like we send a prophet in the beginning to the middle resource to take control.
Tries to take it back, so let's see what happens. Oh, sure. My bot will do that if it loses the middle.
Yeah, well, Justice of the War really effectively monopolizing those resources and takes out the enemy castle. Let's see. Game 2. All right. 3 castles this time, large map. Everyone has taken over their respective resource clumps, building lots of profits. Justice of the War. It looks like you have a very dense lattice in some places. Is that?
This one's going to be a battle of the lattice again, in which case I'll probably lose, unless I get provoked and attack somehow.
We're gonna end up using a church lightning if we have enough fuel. But I think in our past scrims, we've never been able to break your lattice with our church lightning, unfortunately.
We might get to see here.
Oh, that was a church lightning over there.
And it took out a castle.
Yeah.
So
It took out a
that's
whole
gonna be
castle.
the first
okay.
tiebreaker.
So we got lucky there.
That was it didn't work though.
It didn't
So Code Olympians
successfully
takes that
repel.
one. Wow, very nice church
Dense lattice
lightning.
is supposed to prevent that.
Yeah, the dense lattice, they just went right around it.
No idea how that went through it, but
No, it
worked.
didn't. It went right. It went all the way around.
Okay.
Yeah.
Our church lighting has a slight bug. I mean, I implemented it really late, so we actually don't use a BFS to go towards the castle. We use it just a direct direction, a greedy algorithm. So this is over.
Oh yeah, Justice of the War has taken over the entire map, and it's very early.
It looks like Code Olympians didn't have enough carbonite to build anything.
All right, congrats, Justice of the War. You continue. And congrats, Code Olympians. You get money.
Is that the new motto?
Everybody wins.
Everybody wins. People who aren't here.
Wait a second. Is this losers still?
I don't know.
Yeah, so, all right.
Wait.
This is losers still, right?
We're good? Okay. Lovely.
I've lost count. Okay. All right, great. So, Wololo versus Chicken. Is Chicken? Oh, Chicken's here. Nice. All right. All right, 1 castle, big map, lots of resources in the middle. Already some combat over there.
I have a question. What is Wololo? Like, is that just a name, or does it mean something?
Well, if you've ever played Age of Empires, you know that you've got priests. And since this game is heavily based around religion, where the priests, they just shake and they say, Wololo, and then they convert other units to your own color. And yeah, that's
true.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the name of our team. Yeah.
I recognized your logo.
Yeah, exactly. Our logo kind of,
Yeah.
was also the icon.
Well, it looks like you have turned the entire
Yeah,
map.
we've successfully taken
Nice.
over the middle here, and I think last game we actually didn't recognize the middle as like an important spot because it was so sparse. So yeah, here we did it, and yeah, we took it over and won.
Ooh, this is a gigantic map.
Look at that little face in the middle of the map, too. Yeah.
Well, all right, let's see what happens here.
Both teams getting some good early expansion Ololo getting a bit more on the bottom.
I don't even know where to look.
Yeah, we actually, we got the bottom, but we lost the top, didn't we? Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, there you go.
Oh, and you lost the bottom too. Oh, was that a church? I don't know what happened there. There are a couple churches. I think they were building some.
Yeah, I
floors.
think
Wow.
Chicken is actually going for church lightnings, and we didn't consider it effective enough. But I guess that was a mistake. So we're not really defending well against it.
It looks like you were fuel capped as well. Like you had plenty of carbonite in that game.
Yeah, we're actually trying to float fuel as well, but if somebody's really pressured and like if a structure has to defend a lot, it might eat into that reserve, and that's usually not great.
Yeah, I like that Chicken builds these like forward bases of churches to just build units really close to the enemy. It worked really well last game. Oh. Yeah. Oh.
Oh, that's a.
Yeah,
that's a
so I
castle
guess
down.
that's GG for Chicken then.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I don't know if there's any coming back from that. Chicken is controlling 3/4 of the map.
Yeah, this is clearly over. But I want to thank the sponsors and you guys for.
No, thank you.
For organizing this awesome event. Like, it was our first time and we really enjoyed it. And I also want to thank the University of Hanover, who actually does a course on Battlecode, which got us into this whole thing. Yeah.
Thank you for competing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No
Congratulations.
problem.
Where's the useless spot?
All right.
We've got Big Red Battlecode.
Big Red Battlecode versus Useless Bot, please ignore. Hi, Kelvin. I don't know. Nice. There they are. Okay. Welcome back again.
Hello.
All right, let's get started.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, we can hear you a lot better than before. Do you want to talk about your strategy some?
We can hear you. Can you guys hear us?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so basically we moved to different clusters with our pilgrims, and our pilgrim spawns a church, and the church produces more pilgrims.
Can you talk about?
Spawns a church, and the church produces more pilgrims. And then afterwards, our prophets sort of move forwards in like a line-like format. And then afterwards, our prophets sort of move forwards in like a line-like format.
Wait, Kelvin, mute
and we
your
try and maintain map control.
Prophets
sort of move forwards in like and we
Kelvin,
try
mute your
and
mic.
maintain map control.
Yeah. All right.
Like a bit of a lag. Yeah.
Do you guys have the Twitch stream open? Because
I think that's what's going on.
You might want to mute it. Oh, it's fine. All right, whatever. All right, so useless bot, please ignore. Congratulations, unit health.
Oh,
overwhelmingly. Let's see what happens in the next game. Congratulations. Big Red Battlecode, if you mute your Twitch stream, we might be able to hear you better.
Oh, now we can't hear them.
Yeah. Just put the other one though.
I guess just turn it on. That's fine.
All right, Big Red Battlecode. Do you want to talk? I saw some swarming in that last game. Do you want to talk about that?
I guess just turn it on.
We should probably use one.
I mean, you don't have to. That's fine. Useless bot, please ignore. Would you?
Yeah, they are sending more pilgrims than us, but we are fighting for the center.
Big Red Battlecode does have some very interesting swarming going on. I wish we could hear about that.
Unless we break the top lattice, maybe.
Yeah, they're gonna get the castle. Yeah.
Unless we break the top lattice. So basically, we move our profits in groups of 6s, and when a new profit is produced, the profit rushes to join the other group of profits.
Oh, cool.
When a new profit is produced, the profit rushes to join the other group of profits. And that process repeats, so it forms like a sort of swarm, as you said.
All right.
All right, last tiebreaker round.
Okay, game 3. This is, the castles are all the way on the side.
This is going to be a game very much about expansion.
I think, no, we're going to get stuck at that choke point.
Yeah, no, we're not.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Big Red Battlecode.
I think, no, we're going to get stuck at that choke point.
Yeah, being able to
We
capitalize
are not
on
expanding so much.
Those crusaders don't move though.
Can you hear what's going on?
No, I have no idea what this is.
That's okay.
Completely over.
I think what they were saying is that their strategy is when they're they win.
I feel like the crusaders are
really stuck. No, we still have pressure on them.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
Like we would win on unit health.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm okay with
Oh
this.
yeah, that's
How do we lose 10 points?
All right, looks like it goes to Big Red Battlecode then. Congrats.
Congrats, Big Red Battlecode.
Congratulations on winning money. Oh, that was the last one. All right. So now we're going back to the slides. And we have some bonus awards to give out. So there are a couple of ways to get money from Battlecode. One is to spend all month, like spending lots of time writing your bot, get top 16, make it to finals. And the other is to be funny and/or useful, and other ways. So Josh has some awards for some funny and/or useful people.
Sure. Let's get started. Got to press it twice. More times. There we go.
Okay.
Excellent. So first, we're going to announce the winners from our sprint tournament. We had 4 winners: Monad, Move, Get Out the Way, Emoticons, and Delicious Delinquents. So each of them get a prize. Let's move on. For our most valuable community contribution, we're giving a prize to Harrison Green from, I think, University of Pittsburgh for clairvoyance. This is an amazing viewer. It's what we've been using to show all of our matches in all of our streams and at this event. And Battlecode was a far better experience this year for it. So we're incredibly grateful to him for that. On a similar vein, we're giving an award for our best strategy report. We asked competitors and people taking the class here at MIT to submit a report which basically details how they built their bot over the course of IAP. And Oak's Last Disciples, which is a team that's competed in Battlecode for a number of years, now at Cornell, submitted a great strategy report that we actually ended up sending to sponsors. So they will receive an award for that. For most pull requests, we're giving an award to NPCGW, who sent in a lot of fixes to our GitHub to help the game have less bugs, and that's generally always appreciated. So thanks for that, and you'll be receiving an award. And then finally, we're giving awards for 2 teams who built bots using very weird languages. So this year, our tech stack, everything was compiled to JavaScript, which was a creative choice. And we provided starter packages that allowed competitors to easily write bots in JavaScript, Java, and Python. Some teams, because the competition was in JavaScript, also wrote bots in TypeScript, CoffeeScript, stuff like that. But these 2 competitors wrote bots in Rust and C++ by using the WebAssembly toolchain to compile their code down. So they'll also be receiving awards for that because they open sourced all their stuff. Alrighty. And with that, we'll continue on to semifinals.
All right. Our first game of the semifinals. Standard Technology and Citric Sky.
Welcome.
All right, so another map with most of the interesting things concentrated on one side, but some resources out there for the taking.
Looks like Standard Tech's gonna take them.
What, Standard Tech's gonna...
Which is gonna take. Well, what's going on? I don't know what's...
Citric Sky, why don't you attack the enemy?
No, well, we that was a pilgrim. So we don't really differentiate between sides of the map. We just send pilgrims everywhere, and if they die, oh well.
How is this guy up here?
Why is that one stayed alive?
Oh, so we probably tried to go there and then build a church, and then they walled us in, so we have nowhere to build a church. I guess they're just. Oh, it's because we're inside their prophets can't shoot within a certain radius, so I think we're inside their radius.
Oh yeah,
and they blocked themselves in, so that stays just stable, I guess.
yeah. Our prophets, again, they're very dumb, so they don't kite properly.
Their pilgrim is trying to get to probably trying to get to that spot where we are already on. I think they beat us on unit health.
Yeah, unit health takes the day.
Wow.
All right, game 2.
We just need like 2 more of these maps.
Yeah, sorry, they're all random. Generated from cellular automata.
That's right. That is how they're generated. Yeah.
So there's a big resource spot at the top, so we'll probably send a Crusader to try to claim it and expand on from there.
Wow, exactly as you predicted. What is
it looks like we also got the bottom portion, so now we're just going to turtle up and protect our investment.
Okay, this is exactly how it's supposed to go, right? Standard technology beating us.
This is a very standard game from Standard Technology.
So we do best in games where early aggression isn't required. I think most of our focus is on winning the late game with Crusaders for unit health.
All right.
It looks like Standard Tech's going to take that.
Standard lattice win from Standard Tech. Let's see the tie break. Soon. Probably.
Our name, Standard Technology, is from a game called Terraforming Mars, and the text on the card reads Standard Solutions Honed to Perfection, so we tried to embody that as best we could. So it looks like we sent a Crusader to claim that early resource spot. Then as soon as we see an enemy, we'll be more likely to build a church. So basically, if we don't see an enemy, we'll usually try to save up enough resources to build a church. But as soon as we see an enemy, we just try to build a church as aggressively as we can to get the spot before the other team. And you see we also try to always keep a reserve of carbonite and fuel, kind of similar to Citric Sky, just so we can have resources in order to build Crusaders late game and also in order to build when the enemy is trying to take our spots. Looks like we have more carbonite than them, so... Oh, wait, but they also have... It's kind of...
Wait, how do we have more unit health?
Oh, looks like they got us on unit health.
Probably
because
Whoa, wait!
It's all those Crusaders.
So they have only... You can see they only have slightly more units than us, but I think they build a lot more Crusaders, so...
Yeah, that's going to do
we
it.
both have no fuel.
All right. Congratulations.
All right, so...
All right. Again, we're back in the winner's bracket, so these teams, you'll see both of these teams again at least once. Yeah, it's not over yet for them. But now we have Knights of Camelot and Smite. All right.
We scrimmaged like 17 times before this tournament, and we lost 16 times. So.
So basically, we're free to build out our lattice here, and neither lattice has been touched. As you can see, they're still both sparse. So the objective here of... That was good. That was good. Yeah.
Let's,
all right, wait.
So
I want to see
we're gonna watch this on slowed down speed a little bit, I guess.
I mean, you can keep talking.
Yeah. So because neither of our lattices were touched, they're still both in sparse mode right now, which gives the Church Lightning room to get all the way to the center.
Wow. Wow. The Church Lightning.
Yep.
Very
so
effective.
GG. That was good.
All right. Ooh, another small map.
So it's going to come down to that cluster right there.
Looks like no one's going to take the cluster.
So our units are there, but they're just not doing anything.
Yeah, Crusaders can see farther than they can shoot. Okay, there we go. So, but we put down an offensive church there. So we may be able to deny mining from that. I don't think we'll be able to retake it because we forgot to implement that part. But the offensive church might win us the game unless they church landing us again because our lattice is still sparse.
So when do you decide to go from sparse to dense?
Once we start losing some units in lattice.
Or it's turn 500.
Or that, which it is. So now we're densifying.
I see. Knights of Camelot, you seem to have stopped doing anything. Oh,
So
no.
yeah, it looks like we don't have enough resources to really try to do the church lightning.
Ooh, all right, so Smite takes this one, goes to game 3.
All right, so that church, I think, won us the game, even though we didn't actually take the cluster. All right, so we try rushing the center again. This time I think we managed to secure it. Got some pilgrims on the right side.
Why do you go for a sparse lattice at all? I'm curious.
Our objective is to obtain as much map control early on as possible. So the farthest, like if you can establish your front line farther out, then you have more room to fill up units in the back. And that's what we're trying to do.
So at this point, it sort of looks over, but yeah, we're quite vulnerable, especially in like the first 100 turns, because we just sort of like make ourselves too thin. That's unfortunate, but all works out.
All right, well, congrats,
Right.
Smite. You continue in the
Game.
winners bracket.
Knights of Camelot will continue in the losers bracket. So
Yes. So now we're back down to the losers bracket again.
So this is losers bracket number 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like round 3 of the losers bracket.
Yeah.
We're good on
All right.
Hello.
All right. Let's get started. Big map. Lots of resources this time.
Cool.
We've got.
Oh, it's a big map.
Looks like you're pretty evenly matched in terms of taking over the middle resources, though. Oh, G is the key. Wow, what just happened there? How did you do all that so fast?
So basically, when
And the offensive churches are too much for my one.
Sort of resource intensive. So since I've got a lot of resources, if I get 2,000 of each carbonite and fuel, then I send out like loads of preachers. So. And then also have enough for like church lightning and also.
Okay, so the offensiveness is resource triggered.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of teams seem to be doing round triggers for like when they do a mob or something. But that
This
makes
isn't
sense.
a good map for me.
You said this will be a good map?
No, this isn't.
Not a good map.
No.
What makes you say that?
There's not a lot of
Against
resources.
Gears the Key, this is the only map I have a chance on. It's one that nothing really happens.
You still have that forward church though. That seems like
Yeah.
pretty good positioning.
Forward church is really strong. Unless it doesn't work, then it will never work.
It's just I can't get enough carbonite.
I keep waiting for some combat to happen, but it seems
There's
like
this minor skirmishing going on at
Units
the
are
very
being picked
front
off
line.
one at a time.
I'm probably going to lose off unit health.
It's close enough that if someone started building a lot of Crusaders, they would. Oh yeah, Justice of the War has done just that.
It looks like a coin flip.
Wow, whoa, that is a very
That's
dense lattice, I'll say. All right,
So
well,
Justice of the War takes game 2 on account of unit health.
very nice.
That brings us to our tiebreaker.
Yes. All right.
Everyone wondering, Twitch latency is around 5 seconds, so he's seeing all of this 5 seconds in the past.
Oh, okay.
When he says it's a bonus, it was like before he started building Crusaders.
Thank you so much for explaining that.
So G is the key. When do you decide to build forward churches? Is that just like if you see enemy units? you want
Yeah,
to-
so if a pilgrim sees like what is in danger, then it will, instead of running away, it will build a church. So.
Makes sense.
But yeah, this looks like it's over.
Yeah, it looks like Justice of the War is...
The attack is quite scary right now.
Yeah, like once...
Ooh, the turtle encroached on a castle too far.
Yeah, once my bot got the resource at the top, it's got a lot of resources to defend in the middle. If it wasn't for that, it would have lost.
Yeah, very nice. All right, congrats, Justice of the War. You continue. Congratulations.
So these are the...
This is... I don't know what's going on.
All right, cool.
All right, so I think we're still in the losers bracket with Chicken versus Big Road Battlecode. Stakes are high. Both of these teams are calling in, right?
Yes, both these teams are going to be calling.
There's Chicken.
All right. Hello, Jeffrey.
Hello.
Okay. Could you speak up a little bit?
Good luck, battle.
All right, and there's Big Road Battlecode. Cool.
Hello.
All right, well, let's do the first game then. This one.
Hello. So we have a really bad win rate against Chicken, so let's see what happens. So we have a really bad win rate against Chicken, so let's see what happens. Yeah, okay, let's see. Let's see. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, let's see.
So Chicken says, I think, sorry, I muted you guys because you started making a little bit of a weird sound, but Chicken says that once we take over the resources on our side, we send the pilgrims over to the other side, which results in offensive truce, and then they build churches to siege the enemy.
Oh, cool.
And then Jeff adds, so it's like offensive barracks in AoE 2.
All right. Big Red Battlecode. I've noticed that you're very good on large open maps, and you seem to, I don't know, have swarms that go out and take over resources. Do you want to talk about that some?
So our swarms work really well against lattices when the other team isn't putting a lot of pressure on us. But because Chicken has offensive churches, it doesn't work well against them. So we usually get bullied out of map locations, as you can see over there.
Yeah, it looks like...
Are we getting? Yeah, we're getting bullied, I think.
Yeah, so Chicken has taken over that center cluster of resources.
Yeah, that's lost. That's gone.
Oh, rip. All right, congrats, Chicken, and congratulations, Big Red Battlecode.
Stay in this chat for a little bit. We're going to take a picture of you with the award.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay, yes. So now we are in the winners. No, wait. This is the losers bracket.
Still
Okay,
losers
sorry.
bracket.
All right, Justice of the War.
So I think Justice of the War usually does pretty well against us, but I guess we'll see what happens based on the map. In this one, hopefully we can maintain an equal amount of resources, and then we'll see what happens from there.
Great.
Hello.
Yeah, so, I mean, looks like we just each took our resources. If we each maintain it, then it should come down to unit value.
There's no central resources to battle over, so it might be a boring game, knowing these two bots.
Yeah, lattice first, lattice action here. Looks like we're slowly losing on unit health, I think.
Yeah,
maybe we're just sending more profits into his and he is into ours. Is probably what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, also those Crusaders. Justice started building them a lot earlier, I think.
I think my lattice at the bottom isn't going very well, so it's we might lose on that.
Yeah, all right, so Justice of the War takes the first game.
This one might go similarly, I think, because, again, not too many contested resources, probably.
Well, I mean, these ones over to the side, I guess you're just going to split them evenly again.
Yeah, so I'm predicting a similar game as last time.
Standard technology.
If standard technology gets a bit close to the resources in the middle, it's possible that my bots will react and attack. But it's only out of defense.
Just got some minor skirmishing going on in there.
Yeah, it seems like they're maintaining a slight lead over us that will probably carry on, although we do have more carbonite, so it's kind of hard to say.
Yeah, when you start building Crusaders, do you only build Crusaders? Or?
Yeah, but I think now we're about even, but he has more unit value, so unless something changes, I think he'll take it by a little. It's hard to say. Yeah, his unit value slowly, although we are saving more carbonite, we'll start building Crusaders around like 920 or something, so I think he builds Crusaders a lot earlier, so that could take him the game. So.
That skirmish in the middle, it's very bad to send your profits into the opponent because it's inefficient. They shoot you first. So whoever's doing that less is going to have more carbonite at the end.
Okay, I guess we build a lot of Crusaders at round 920 and hopefully, oh wait, no, now they're building, oh. That was
so standard tech takes that just barely.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, we build our Crusaders away from the enemy, so they tend to not run in as much. But I guess we just saved up a bit more than they did.
Very nice. All right, well, it goes to the tie break here.
Okay, so this one could be decided by who takes control of that top. In past games, sometimes we take over, then Justice of the War attacks and gets it back. So we'll see if that happens again. Although we do kill their church, so hopefully we can just maintain that church. Looks like they're trying to attack. Oh! Yeah, so their attack is really effective against us because they stay outside of our like vision radius. Then come in.
But also while they're attacking, we took their own church from on the top right. Since all their units left, so our pilgrim just ran in.
But I think they have more resources than us now because we took their spot, but they have 2 equivalent spots, so I think they should have an advantage.
You should have a slight carbonite advantage. They should have a fuel advantage.
Oh wait, no, but don't they have
wait, they're
like 6 carbonite spots?
Oh wait, sorry, backwards. Yeah.
Oh wait, although they are running low on fuel, I guess.
Yeah, they're running into us, but they're running out of fuel as they attack. So we just pick off their units when they run into our range.
Yeah, that was big.
Yeah, looks like they're having fuel issues. Luckily for us, that's about everything. I don't know. Hopefully we continue the unit value advantage. Yeah, very close match. Good game.
Yeah. Wow.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Yeah. All right. So congratulations, Justice of the War. Wait, were we supposed to take a picture with them?
Hello yet again.
Oh well. All right, moving on. Congrats, Justice of the War, for they were what, 6th?
What's
5th place.
5th place.
Very nice. All right, Knights of Camelot versus Chicken.
Yeah, so Chicken is very aggressive, so we can expect them to overrun us.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, cool.
Looks like we managed to get the resources.
And we bugged.
Yeah, complete map control from Knights of Camelot here.
And the encroaching turtle is just slowly wearing down Chicken's castle. And there it goes.
Yeah, that's it.
Well done, Knights of Camelot. You take your first game.
All right. Let's see what happens on a bigger map. So it looks like they've
an even split of resources.
Except Knights of Camelot hasn't gotten all of them. Oh, what's this?
Now Knights of Camelot might grab those resources in the back.
Yeah, Chicken has this audacious pilgrim over here.
We got chased off the resource patch at the top right, and now we're losing.
It looks like Chicken has this offensive church in the bottom that's slowly taking over.
Looks like the pilgrim might be church chaining at the bottom. No, it just died.
I mean, you've maintained Oh, never mind. Oh yeah, and so Chicken goes in with their Crusaders.
Takes game 2.
Yes. I like that everyone uses all the units.
Yeah. It's good.
All right, so very open map this time.
Yeah.
It's going to come down to combat micro probably, or there's no middle resources, so who knows what will happen.
Yeah.
Got this.
Resources look
Slow build up.
about equal, so as long as Chicken doesn't get aggro on us, we might have a chance.
You guys look like you're saving up a bunch of carbonite.
Yeah, what are you saving up that carbonite for? Is that for church lightning?
Yeah, and also it's a bug.
Whoa!
There's the church lightning.
Yeah, so the church lightning happened.
So the bug probably helped us here.
And it's not really a bug, is it? It's a feature. It's not a bug.
Yeah, wow, the church lightning really changed the swing of the game. That's not a saying.
I don't know. It could be. You're a trendsetter. You're making your own.
All right, well, Knights of Camelot, very nice. Yeah, and congratulations, Chicken, on your 5th place finish. What does that say? 5th place.
Oh.
All right. Nice. All right, so this brings us to...
What are we doing?
So this is the final... Well, okay, so to clarify where we are, this is going to decide who's going to go into the finals from the winner's bracket, if that makes any sense. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, all right, so... Yes, so these are the last 2 teams who haven't lost a single game yet.
Match.
All right. So it's going to come down to that center again. Hopefully we should be able to get a Crusader there, and we do. And that allows us to take the area, although now we are making a few too many pilgrims, which clogs our church. This is a bug. However, if they do attempt to push it, hopefully one of those pilgrims will survive and then reestablish the church. So it's actually a feature. And now I think it's just a lattice game where we have more fuel. And yes, see, some pilgrims died, and we were able to unclog. And now we clogged again.
It's the same configuration as before.
But those 3 prophets actually might do a lot for us because they can snipe Crusaders, because Crusaders have a smaller vision radius, and so as they try to fill Crusaders into the dense lattice, we keep killing them.
It worked.
Not surprising.
All right, so bigger map this time. A couple of closer castles, but non-trivial pathfinding. Do you guys want to talk about how you navigate?
Yeah, so we basically just do A-star. One of the interesting things we do is we actually have an algorithm that basically identifies contested clusters at the beginning, and we send a harasser to each one. So we call it K-harass, where we basically identify how many harassers to attack.
Yeah, if we get a harasser team, we pretty much lose because our pilgrims do not tell anything to the castles or any other units. So
Another thing is we don't actually use A-star, we use like A- star, because like our A-star like went over 20 milliseconds, so we just like cut off stuff and then like don't revisit nodes, and yeah, it's like, but it works most of the time unless like it's like a bad map, and then we just sort of like call it a dev issue, and then like,
Yeah. So one more note is that our early game Crusaders and Pilgrims are actually equipped with full knowledge about the shape of the enemy, like where the castles are, and they path around the castles. So this was not such a map, but in some maps we might be able to.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
in
very
this case, we
nice.
won barely.
All right.
It's pretty close.
Smite is the only person who hasn't lost a match yet. Good
All right.
match.
So. All right, so that's going to bring us down to the losers bracket, where we're going to have Standard Tech versus Knights of Camelot. And then the winner of that is going to face Citrix Sky, and then the winner of that is going to go into the finals, like the final
finals.
Let's get to it.
All right, so we have standard tech on red. Looks like a good map for them because there's lots of room for turtling. Let's see it. Hopefully, Knights of Camelot can get their church lightning.
Yeah. So
got even expansion in this.
So one of the reasons we built dense lattice is because we were also scared of church lightning. But if they do it early, they might still be able to find a path, or they could just kill enough prophets that they don't even need to get to the castle.
How does the church lightning decide where to go?
Every new unit does a BFS, and then based on that, it decides what's the next direction it should build the next unit.
So looks like their church is next to ours is building a lot more units than ours. So hopefully they don't collapse in or something and kill us. But we're saving up a lot of carbonite, hopefully to build Crusaders later, or if they charge in on us.
We assigned the attackers where to go based on like if the church notices that a previous unit dies, it won't assign it to somewhere near there. So that's why it's expanding towards the sides and not towards them.
Looks like they have a lot more Crusaders than us right now, but hopefully we can build more later. Hard to say.
Yeah. Why did you say you save up carbonite?
Oh, we save up carbonite because, also looks like our church block, maybe didn't block itself. Anyways, we save up carbonite because we want to build a bunch of Crusaders, but we want to do it late because if we built them early, then the unit they might like attack us. Although other teams seem to do it fine, but we just didn't want to. Although actually it looks like we're not saving up carbonite. That's probably because we can see more enemy units than we have units, in which case we don't really save it all. So.
All right, well, it looks like Knights of Camelot take that one, beating with a turtle, too.
Yeah.
No, not even church lightning. All right. Yeah. It's games like this with like 500 units that take forever to run.
Yeah, so on this map, there's a bit more contested areas, which might be good for us because we're a bit more aggressive in econ.
Hopefully. But
Hopefully.
We'll see. So looks like we got that area, like the left area, and they got the right area. We're crowding ourselves in a bit, but I guess we got another one, so hopefully we're fine. Yeah. Also, of course, a feature just like Smite, so not a bug.
It's a feature.
It looks like standard technology dominating map control here.
This is where we spend all of their server money, looting all of our profits.
This game probably took 2 hours to run.
So standard tech takes game 2.
All right.
This will bring us to our tiebreaker.
And again, this is the loser's bracket, so
This doesn't look good for us. And if they build more Crusaders than us, which they did previously, then they can probably take it because there aren't any contested resource spots.
And what did you say triggers the church lightning?
It's based on the amount of resources we have.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, it looks like if they could church lightning around our lattice right now, but I don't see any pilgrims getting ready to do it.
Yeah. How close do you have to get before that can happen?
I guess just outside enemy range, and then it starts building.
It looks like we're being a little more efficient with our pilgrims because we passed all our profits before attacking. But
yeah,
They build a
lot more.
higher ratio of Crusaders to profits. So,
Yeah.
Right
All
at the
right.
very
Well,
end.
congratulations, Knights of Camelot, and congratulations, Standard Technology. All right, so now Citrix Sky versus Knights of Camelot.
This is going to decide who goes into the final. So
Yes, the last ultimate final match, maybe, depending on if they win, right?
yes.
Yeah. All right. So whoever wins this goes back and plays against Smite. And whoever loses gets money. So
Yeah.
everyone wins.
Win-win.
Okay, let's go.
So Knights of Camelot grab that expansion early.
Yeah, I mean, we just don't want maps with central carbonate, right?
Yes, Knights of Camelot really is definitely dominating that resource cluster. Why are your units so spread out, Citrix Sky? I'm curious. Is it because there are enemies visible?
I think it's because the church and the castle, right? They don't allow prophets to be next to them.
Okay, that makes. Oh,
And
church
there's
lightning. Wow, there's
Yeah.
so many units over there, and that's why they call it lightning. All right? That's why I call it lightning. Other people call it lasers. Some people call it. I don't know. Anyways.
Like church lasers, that's a good.
Yeah. All right, game 2. Oh, lots of central resources. Sorry, Citrix.
This might be okay because the central resources are actually closer to the ones further up, right, on our side.
Oh, that's true.
They're not too central.
Yeah, and also, I guess, very out of range for church lightning since the castles are at the edges.
Yeah.
If we bump into a church in the middle of church lightning, it will kill the church instead. So hopefully we can do the church lightning before they start their dense lattice.
I think the idea here is that we want to run them out of fuel, but I don't know, they still got a lot.
Yeah, both teams seem to not be moving much and just saving up fuel. You said 10,000 is the trigger? Knights of Camelot?
It's like different every game. It's based on the map.
Oh, okay, cool. Based on the map, how? Like larger maps, it's higher?
Larger maps, it will have a higher requirement, and then smaller maps won't have as high requirement.
Makes sense. Looks like Citrix Sky is winning on unit health, so that might be your only hope this game.
All right, now comes our Crusader spam at around 700.
Why did the Crusaders only end up in the center? Oh, is it just built by the castle and not the churches?
What, I'm sorry?
It seemed like the Crusaders only came out in the center.
They only come out of the castle because, again, our bot is pretty dumb.
There was some church
there was
lightning
some church lightning, and they took those resources, but it was too late. Looks like Citrix Sky won on unit health despite that.
Yeah, so our Crusaders dense lattice, right, whereas our Prophets sparse lattice. So
here comes the tiebreaker.
Yeah, could be anyone's game. See who gets those bottom resources.
Well,
our Crusader, yeah.
That's
yeah. Oof. Looks like some very dominant map positioning there. Knights of Camelot.
Yeah.
If you notice that you're like in a dominant position, will it change your likelihood of doing a church lightning or anything like that, or just still turtle until?
It just happens naturally because if we're at an advantage, we will naturally get more resources.
Yeah, makes sense. All right. Well, it looks like. Oh, the church lightning.
Church lightning.
Yeah, it came from over here. It
And look,
looks
it sort of formed this hook shape around.
Yeah.
Like it went all the way around
I
and
like
then
it.
came back.
I like it. All right, congratulations, Knights of Camelot. You get to face. Oh wait, what?
What? I'm so confused. What?
Oh, they're also a high school team.
Oh, right. That's right. That's
Yes.
we were told this. So we should go to the PowerPoint. Back.
What? Oh yeah.
Go back to the PowerPoint.
Okay.
Well, so you guys actually kind of have to stay here though, because now we're running the high school finals, and you guys are also the high school finalists. Which, by the way, good job about.
For who? Oh, yeah,
Okay.
sure. Yeah, so starting a couple of years ago, we've also, like with the increase in high school participation, which has been awesome. High school classes aren't that important anyways. It's easy to put off homework. Like, it's great that they do Battlecode. So we've had a high school tournament, and these, we already have 5 high school teams in the finals as it is. They're very competitive this year. most impressive.
Yes.
But there's also the high school tournament. So high school teams get 2 chances to win things. And this is the final match of the high school tournament between Knights of Camelot and Citric Sky.
Do you know if we have to like do the win twice thing because double elimination?
No, this is a single win, I think. Yes.
Yeah.
This is
it's just this match. Like.
I mean, it's not just this
Well,
match.
like,
There could be 3.
There's the 3 matches.
Yeah,
right? It's not just this game. It's just this match.
Yeah, we should agree on
our terminology for games and matches. Yes.
All right, so Citric Sky is red. This is an interesting map. Lots of stuff to path around.
Yeah, it looks like it might be a bit difficult to do the church lightning in this one.
Well, my prediction is that we're gonna Crusader spam, and that's how we're gonna win.
Yeah, it looks like the resources are roughly even, despite not being symmetric.
Yeah. Huh. I think Citric Sky might have a bit more resources.
But they could be church lightning, so.
Or the map could just fill up.
I guess it is quite even.
That'd be.
Yeah, maybe the. Oh, they're both doing dense
we got
lattices.
Crusaders.
Yeah. Citric Sky seems to have a lot more map control.
Also, a lot of resources saved up to spend in the end.
All
Looks
right.
like our church lightning got
So
stuck.
Citric Sky takes that one. Okay, very big, very open map. Oh yeah, Knights of Camelot with the aggressive Crusader gets you a lot of resources. Very nice.
We got a clear lead on resources for Knights of Camelot.
Yeah. Citric Sky seems to be saving up. Is that one of your other features, right?
Well, it's not really a feature. Well, we want to distribute all the profits between all the churches and castles, and we kind of use that to distribute it, right? So when we have a low amount of carbonite, which is like 200 or so, we would spawn a profit if we don't see any profits. And then we kind of scale that up. So if we see a lot of profits in our revision radius, we would require more profits to be around us.
Yeah, I like.
We would require more carbonite, right? Yeah. And then in order to spawn. So yeah, you can kind of see they're evenly distributed, which is what our goal was.
Yeah, one of the other top players, example Funk's player, didn't do this thing where they build up a buffer, and it was just the first castle in turn order. As soon as it could build a unit, it would build a unit. Yeah, whoever made that bot was a genius, but they didn't think of that, I guess. Yeah, it was me.
So now it's a Crusader spam, and it's going pretty well. They did Church Lightning, so that's also pretty good.
I wish the viewer detected when there was church lightning and would slow down, like go into slow-mo or something like that.
Wow. So Knights of Camelot at the very end just barely take that on the unit health tiebreaker.
Yeah, wow.
It seems that so Knights of Camelot, you guys wait a lot longer before you really spend all of your resources at the end.
Yeah, the teams ended with 9 and 5 carbonite respectively, so that's pretty maxed out.
Yep.
All right, so it goes to game 3. Let's begin.
Let's see it.
Who's going to get these resources on the right, I wonder? Knights of Camelot.
Hold
off the pilgrim.
Yeah. Our competition for the middle resource is not that great.
Yeah, it looks like there may not be. I guess there's that one pilgrim running around, but I don't know how much lightning potential we have right now.
Yeah.
Get it, lightning potential, because the difference in potential.
I got.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's good.
All right, so Knights of Camelot has better map control at the moment, and it looks like they're both building up their lattices here.
Yeah, they have a lot of carbonite, so.
Oh, wow, yeah, that is a lot of carbonite.
Oh, I thought the game ended for a second, but my laptop's just slow.
I think they're charging up for that church lattice, or no, not church lattice, church lightning.
It looks like it might
there's one
come
over the
down.
side.
Oh,
that takes out a
that got a castle.
Oh, yeah. So.
Very nice. Oh, and that's it.
Good
The game
game.
ended too.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
right.
congrats, Knights of
Congrats, Knights of
Camelot.
Camelot.
Congratulations. Okay. Sounds good.
Before. What do they want?
Here.
What do they want?
Take a picture with Eugene.
Got it. Okay. Do I get to be in the picture? All right. So now we have our newbie finals.
Hello versus Arnold Bot 2. So these, again, the newbie tournament is for MIT teams who are participating in Battlecode for the first time. So yeah. I think
If teams are here, come
yeah.
up. Okay.
Yeah.
Come. Yes,
please.
come. Please.
Tell us about your strategy and what's going on, because we don't know what's going on.
All right. So yeah, we actually took a lot of inspiration from Team Barcode's wall. We thought it was a very good idea. Props to you. We send units toward the middle, and instead of making a wall, we try to make a lattice starting from the middle and going backwards towards our castle. As you can see, is happening right here.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. We also try to fill in Crusaders, make it pretty dense for the unit health. So.
Yeah. Are you intentionally filtering Crusaders to the front?
Yeah.
That makes
That's
a lot
intentional.
of sense. That's cool.
Very cool.
Wow, yeah, this is quite the wall.
Yeah, we don't attack, so this is probably going to go to 1,000 rounds.
I mean, you know what they say, the best offense is a giant wall.
Is that a saying?
It's been said at least once. All right, well, I'd say that's pretty conclusive.
A pretty decisive win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I think Hello is more of a rush bot, which is interesting because we struggled against rush bots in general. But I think we took resources in the middle, which like definitely helped us. But if it's even resources, we typically struggle with rushes.
Yeah, it looked like that map was big enough too that you had time to build up a defense. Yeah, it looks like you've got the middle, but
Ooh,
one castle down.
If we lose a castle, I think around 900 we attack with our wall if we know we're down a castle and it's the end of the game.
Cool.
But that might not happen if the wall isn't big enough.
Yeah, it looks it looks like they've been sending units in groups of 3. Yeah, it seems like a very deliberate 2 Crusaders and 1 Prophet. Interesting. Well,
Right.
the rush wins this time.
It's all tied up. This is a nice resource-rich map for you guys.
If we can get that central location, it should be good. But if their rush ends up taking that path, which it is, we're probably in bad luck. So.
Yeah, it looks like Hello doesn't even bother going for the resource clusters. It just sends those waves of units straight at the castles. But they're pretty effective together in those clumps of 3.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to win this one.
Ooh, that's one castle. Oh yeah, and now they're going for the other one. Those preachers held them off for a while because they stayed clumped together. But ultimately, Hello wins the newbie tournament. Congratulations, Arnold Batu, on the second place.
Just do that.
Yeah. Go away.
Control R.
Feel free to smile.
There you go.
Uh-oh.
Sorry.
It's all good.
It's not you, it's me.
So congratulations to the finalists, Smite and Knights of Camelot. Your bots are really great, use dramatically different strategies, and we're really excited to have both of you play your matches in just a short while. Before we get to that, we wanted to take a moment to thank a short list of some of the people or organizations that have helped Battlecode run this year. So we're going to start off with some of the people who are in this room, so our sponsors. Battlecode could not run without the tremendous support from our industry sponsors, groups such as D-Shaw, Jabil, DRW, IBM, HRT, Oracle, Disney, Vatic Labs, and Dollar Shave Club, basically make this event possible. So can we get a round of applause for them? There's also a large number of organizations at MIT that collaborate with the devs to make this event possible. So in no particular order, I'd like to thank MIT AV, all the way back there, CAC, Video Production, SAO, Office of the General Counsel, the ECS Department, Jack Patel in the Office of the Chancellor, and the Office of Security Operations. Without each and every one of these groups, this event could not happen. And let's get another round of applause for them. And on to the finals.
All right.
All right, so to be clear about what's, what? Oh, take a okay. So to be clear about how this is going to work, so because Smite has not yet lost, Knights of Camelot will need to win 2 matches in a row to claim the true prize. Smite only needs to win once.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh.
We should run them a little bit slower so we can watch it all in its glorious detail.
Let's cherish a potential.
All right, so here come the Crusaders from both sides. There's some skirmishing.
It looks like they're deliberately not skirmishing.
Yes. So they captured a cluster that is on our side of the map. That is scary. Hopefully we can push them off. We do have the bottom, that's true.
You captured a cluster on their side of the map.
Yeah.
But you're not doing anything with it.
Well, no, that one on the bottom.
I was looking at that one.
Yeah.
Our 3 Crusaders at the top aren't attacking because they usually just wait for the enemy to get in their range instead. So that's unfortunate.
We do the same.
Yeah, it looks like those a couple of resource clusters are just going to go unused.
Yeah. So we send missions from we have a pilgrim that goes to create a new cluster, and the weak link in our entire system of economy is that one pilgrim. If that pilgrim gets shut down, then we aren't able to resend. But that pilgrim does sometimes drop an aggressive church on his way there. So even if the pilgrim dies, we can deny the resources, which is what's happening at the center right now.
So we can notice Knights of Camelot saving up quite a lot of carbonite.
This is worrisome.
I wonder what they could possibly do with that.
So one of the things you guys notice now is it's after turn 500, so we're going to immediately start hardening. It's very specifically to counter Church Lightning. And the goal is if they do attack, we'll have a lot of mages on the front lines that can easily kill a lot of these units. It's an interesting fact, actually. We lost to a composition of this team and Franklin Wang over there last year. So we're hoping Franklin Wang was one of the key members last year, and we have better luck this time. So we're just basically hoping at this point we can hold off any attacks they have and win out on unit health because we have slightly more resource control.
It looks like there's potential for this castle down here to get church lightninged.
Yeah, the line of profits from that one church is really causing an issue for our lattice because we aren't able to expand to that area. It's pretty much no man's land.
Yeah, but Knights of Camelot are spending down all of their resources at this point, so I don't think...
We do have a hard wall there as well, so they can't actually penetrate all the way to the castle.
Darn. All right, well, Smite takes this game. No church lightning.
On to game 2.
Oh. Let me a lot on that one.
Hopefully the Church Lightning saves us on this map.
Yeah, he'll probably hit us before turn 500 too. So.
Any particular reason that you chose round 500 to start doing the dense lattice and not like earlier or based on unit count or something like that?
We realized about 10 minutes before this mission deadline that we should probably harden at some point. So we're more focused on uploading the bot than picking the right number.
Makes sense.
We also find it very interesting that obviously we like to talk to sponsors. We like to thank the sponsors, but we're freshmen, so they don't talk to us, and they're high schoolers, so they don't talk to us, and yeah, here we are as the top 2 bots. So.
Wait, did you see that church lightning in there?
Oh wait,
so that was church lightning. Yep,
you
that was.
distracted us. Can we,
So they cracked us?
Let's go back.
Yeah, I want to see that.
Because we were still sparse.
Yeah.
Let's watch the pilgrim.
There's that one pilgrim that's running around, isn't it?
Must be.
It's gonna be newly created.
I think I went back too far.
Whenever they do church lightnings, they make a new pilgrim out of their castle. Yeah.
I think
So that it gets to the last turn in the
I went
round.
back a little bit too far. It's fine.
Oh, we'll get there.
I've practiced clicking a lot. Clicky clicker.
Oh, wait, let's see
Oh
this.
yeah, all right, there.
Is
That's
that
got to
gonna
be it.
No, that's not that one.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's not it apparently.
All right, we'll keep going.
So we are.
Oh,
okay, there it was. Right there. 366. Or no? Yeah.
All right.
So it comes actually multiple times, I think.
One turn. Again, the church lightning is actually. Do you want to explain the church lightning, Knights of Camelot?
So in one turn, basically, our pilgrim builds a church, and then because of the way the turn queue works, that church can build the next pilgrim on the same turn, and then we continue all the way down to the center of their castle.
Wait, was this the GIF that was played at the very beginning of the slideshow?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Okay. We thought we recognized our lattice.
Yeah, so that's something we were like dreading the whole game because the unit composition did look a lot like ours. So we were like, huh. So we do counter push at the end of the game if we have enough units. So there's a chance we do counterattack and capture 1. At this point, they have pretty good defenses, so it seems unlikely.
We will push down the right side, though, not the left side. So there's a chance we won't be able to take that on turn 800, around 800.
Yeah, so that bug where we don't make many defenders might come bite us.
Oh, another
okay.
church lightning. Wow.
Well, it looks like we can't win on
There
unit
was
health
no
anymore.
church. I mean, no castle there though.
Will you go on the offensive no matter what if you've lost a castle, or?
Yeah. If we have enough fuel to make it across the map. The only issue is that once we... Yeah, I think
It
we're
looks like you
clogged
just
here.
tried, yeah.
Yeah, because we're stuck on the edge of the map. So that's a loss.
All right, yeah, it looks like Knights of Camelot is definitely controlling this map.
All right.
And that's it. All right, so this is
game.
going to go to the third game.
Hoping for a big map. Aw. Just about the worst possible. No resources.
All those pilgrims looking for places to go. So sad.
This looks like not a feature.
Yeah, what? You haven't built
This
that?
is a bug that we've never seen before. Hopefully we can debug it sometime soon.
Well, if nothing else, you definitely have the biggest vision radius.
Yes.
So, maybe you can win on Pilgrim Health.
We're doing all right on unit health.
Spam.
We're only down 60. And maybe if they cluster around enough, they can stop a church lattice. I mean, a church lightning.
Oh yeah. I think
It's
we're
pretty
actually
dense.
maxed out on defenders right now.
I don't know if your army of pilgrims is going to be able to be effective since you're almost out of fuel here.
Oh.
It's going to come down to
So
whether or not
as you see, it passed turn 500 with hardening, except this time with Pilgrims.
Just waiting for the lightning. If the lightning doesn't come, oh, there it
Oh,
goes.
there it is.
Wow. Wow.
All right.
So, Knights of Camelot take match 1, which means that we are going into the second final match.
Yes. So to be clear, this is definitely the final match of the Battlecode finals for the final tournament. And this is the second match, but game 1, and yeah.
Let's see it.
And now they've both lost
that's
once.
huge.
So whoever wins this set of 3 wins.
So we actually intentionally lost the last game so to be more dramatic. It's for like the aura of competition, you know. We had a very specific if statement that was like, if it's this case.
All right, so in this case, we again invested in early Crusaders and they invested in early churches, so they get some of their economy out faster. We do potentially take the one in the center. We'll see if we do that. We have a pilgrim there. And we might be able to snipe their other church in the center as well, which we just did, yeah. They do get the top, however.
So if you see on the left, we're actually building some aggressive churches that spawn 4 preachers or 4 prophets right around them. It's basically just aiming to be a nuisance in their lines and try to sometimes push them off cluster.
It looks like the number of resource areas is roughly even, but Smite has way more units on the map.
And more resources saved up.
Yeah, I think we have, we are denying that one patch to the center. Even though we don't take it,
right.
the prophets are denying it. I think that creates the imbalance.
This is another one of those 600, 700 unit games.
It's a lot of units.
Yeah. Anyone who's complaining about slow scrims?
Yeah, I think our game for standard technology went to like 800,000 rounds. So
Yeah.
Our turns.
Yeah,
Yeah, so.
Thank you. Please don't try. Okay. All right. It looks like Smite has taken over the majority of the map here, and it's going to be an overwhelming unit health victory.
We spend every last ounce of fuel on churches at the end.
Oh, that was why it jumped so quickly.
Yeah.
Makes sense. All right.
Another big map.
This seems like an average between the 2 maps you guys have been winning on.
So there's a carbonite one and there's a fuel one.
We somehow managed to get that resource.
This is unfortunate.
If only we attacked.
Well, you're definitely winning on econ right now.
Although we don't have much fuel, it looks like.
That's true.
Oh, but now you've taken all the fuel spots in that patch, so...
Looks like your fuel is being fixed.
Do you know why you're not building anything, Smite? Or is that because they're in range? It keeps building, but it keeps getting shot.
Possible, yeah.
Yeah, there's that flashing,
right,
the flashing profit right here.
Yeah, we just don't have resources in this game.
Yeah, all right, and that's good. So wow, all right, so this is
the final game.
The final game of the final match of the final.
I guess even before we run this, we do want to congratulate both teams, right? I think the closeness of this whole thing is a testament to how good these teams are and how well matched they are, and I really think both of you guys have done a phenomenal job.
But only one can have eternal glory.
That's true.
And the other one can have money.
Well, both of them.
All right, so Smite, you have...
So there's a chance that we'll make offensive churches on the left side with those 2 pilgrims over there.
Church in the middle is unsettling.
Oh. But we might be able to deny that offensive church over there can deny the bottom right corner of the cluster. We might be able to just out-turtle them. We'll see.
What do you think those 2 little pilgrims are up to over there on the...
They're trying to take that cluster, and they can't, so they're just watching.
We call it peaceful protest.
When we get enough carbonite, we might drop an offensive church there. Oh, so we did get the top left.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. I didn't even see that.
So at this point, we're basically hoping that there's no church lightning, and somehow we can survive.
It's going to come down to that. I think they're fuel limited, so that could be a defining factor.
And it's around 500 now, so it's a dense fuel.
Yep.
Yeah, it seems like Knights of Camelot, you definitely have a bigger econ going, but you're not spending all of your carbonite.
I mean,
well,
if you
have
had
enough fuel to really.
Right, if you had the fuel, you actually would have, I think, enough carbonite to build enough Crusaders to win on health at this point. It's just there's no fuel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that pilgrim motion seems to be costing us.
Are they running back and forth shuttling resources? Is that what's happening? Or
they're looking for free resource spots, but they can't find it.
We saw this in a replay, and there was one pilgrim doing it. We got really scared, thought we were scouting. I don't know, do you guys scout?
Unintentionally.
All right, very nice. Well, congratulations.
All right, good game. That was really fun.
Congratulations.
I like that both teams color. Oh, they color coordinated with each other. Is there a slide at the end? Just And just a very last final thank you to the devs, because a lot of them put in a lot of time into this, and Battlecode wouldn't be possible without especially the people sitting here. You guys stand up. Stand up, devs, stand up. Yeah. Thank you.